Gotta be honest with you. I just recorded something like a 12, 14-minute video, pretty much a rundown of all the props given on Friday, and a little bit of disruptance came in the signal. Sometimes when you upload these YouTube videos, you'll get a little message saying something went wrong, try to reconnect. Anyways, probably something with the ISP, probably just something with the server on YouTube. Anyway, it's a lot like you upload a long, or start typing this long, brilliant message on Streak for the Cash, and it gets refreshed before you post it. It's a lot like that. So as you can imagine, a bit perturbed, a bit pissed off, a little bit discouraged, pretty hungry. So got a little bit to say about that right off the bat. Kitty cat. Anyway, put together a little bit of something else here. Not going to leave you empty-handed. What we're going to do is go ahead and jump into this. I did notice that another option or feature that they added in May was this all-time leaders, hits, greatest feats, whatever. You can check on the leaderboard. There's a new section that they call greatest something, all-time history. Obviously, I'm not going to put together the 10-second effort that it takes to double check that. I'm just going to talk about it for 30 seconds, clarifying what it's called. Anyway, I was checking that out. Our boy Morrison James 1, may he rest in peace, wherever he is, was on the board. I saw him there with his 124 that he got back when this group actually started. He's one of the reasons why I made the group Riders on the Storm, a Doors theme. He was kind of our mascot for that month and did real well. I thought he was in the group. Double checked on that. He's not. Any of you guys that are in his other groups, you know what I'm talking about. Get him back in. I'll shoot him a message too. He's a good guy to have around. Positive influence. Anyways, big ups to him and his big ass streak and his publicity. Check out that greatest hits. You get to see people's longest win streaks, longest losing streaks, people with the most wins, most losses, and also shows a little column off to the side, their win percentage. But you can't organize the win percentage. It's like ESPN wants you to know, but they do a big thing about not focusing on the win percentage. They're all about the streak and the wins and losses, but not about the win percentage, which is what I'm most focused on. Anyway, that's exactly why I have not won the stash. So, moving on. We're looking ahead at Friday. Again, most of these videos are going to be recorded. I say most. All of these videos are going to be recorded the day before. There is 101,000% chance that I'm not going to be able to stare at a camera for 10 plus minutes in the morning before going to work. Just not going to do it. I'm not going to do that to you either. You're not going to want to listen to me in the morning. I'm not a morning bird. Anyway, looking ahead on Friday, we got a little bit of the Derby at Kentucky Oaks. Now, we do got a couple guys in the group that know about horse racing. Myself, personally, this thing, I kind of consider it farm animal competitions. Fuck. Anyway, chances are it's not going to play out with the odds. You know, a lot of folks will tell you it does. Whatever. Any other horse is probably the best team on Streak for the Cash in general. They're practically undefeated. I'd take any other horse if you have to. Again, this is an afternoon prop. So far, posting Thursday afternoon, there's no Friday morning props. Again, like today, yesterday, Thursday, like the 2nd of May. There wasn't any morning props posted until we were blessed with some morning golf. Now, I'm not going to go into golf. I played a little bit in my youth. Don't really understand the appeal, but some folks do, and I'm not dogging that. I'm just saying that I don't understand the appeal of picking it. Seems pretty random as far as whether or not one player shoots 10 over or fucking hole in one. As far as I know, a lot of little peripheral little things go into a golf score than just what's expected in the player. And I would suggest if you're going for a big streak, not to pick golf. If you're on a little streak, go for it. My advice with golf is take the draw or sheep it up. And if the sheep pick is the draw pick, I think drop yourself a green there. I myself will be sticking mostly to NHL yet again. Going to be featuring a little bit MLB, a little bit NBA, but mostly hockey until the playoffs are dead, which will be later this month, so we have a long month together. Anyway, starting off, we got Indiana Pacers at Atlanta Hawks. Now, you're probably pretty aware that I've only really paid attention to one series in NBA playoffs, and we'll get into that in a little bit. However, I really think Indiana Pacers are a much better team than Atlanta Hawks. I don't think they have what it takes to advance past this round, but I do think the Atlanta Hawks have what it takes to force Game 7 in Indiana, which the Pacers will take. As I said, the Atlanta Hawks don't have what it takes to advance, but they do have what it takes to hang on at home in this playoff series, and I think they'll do it tonight, or Friday night, tonight, yeah. The sheep are going to be all over the Pacers for obvious reasons, but I think Atlanta pulls off the upset. If you have to pick one of these early games in the NBA to just be that one, take it or leave it. But I wouldn't pick the Knicks-Celtics game, as a few of you in this group let me know, let yourselves know, let all of us know. This series is a pain in the ass to predict. Boston Celtics looked like a scrub, bum-ass team for most of the season. Then all of a sudden they pulled it together, ended up in the postseason, kind of like the Lakers. Funny how those things work out, isn't it? Anyway, Knicks, better team, better shooters. They got the talent that I think is better than the Celtics. They got better coaching as well. And I really think that they pull ahead and go ahead and seal this deal in 6 games, even in Boston. Again, like I said, they're just better shooters, which is also why I think they pull off more field goals in the first half, which is the user-friendly submission pick or whatever. They're kind of silly, these user-friendly submission picks. I'm going to call it that whole thing every time. Anyway, Knicks, better team for that one too. I think that they will win the game additionally. And moving on to MLB, going to try to get into baseball a little bit now that we're kind of rolling. It's almost been a month since it started. Some of these teams are starting to settle down. Not really, but I want more to talk about than the one hockey prop tonight, so I'm doing a rundown of all of these. The Oakland Athletics at the New York Yankees. Both of these teams got some premier bats. The New York Yankees have a salary cap that is a number I can't even imagine. I can look at it on paper, on the screen or whatever, and see, these numbers. Yeah, but it's mind-boggling. This money is spent on these MLB players, especially for these big teams. It blows my mind. A lot of money in these leagues, which is why a lot of people argue that these games are somewhat rigged, staged, whatever. Not so much the case in early season baseball. I mean, you can argue points later in the season, but right now we're just looking at grit, and the New York Yankees have actually put together a pretty decent playing team. They started off horrible. In fact, they were my pick to be the last in their division, but they're actually coming up, doing some things. Oakland Athletic, you know who I'm talking about. The A's are much better at home. They're going all the way across the country, playing New York Yankees, who have CC Sabathia on the mound. Now, Griffin is all right, but he's no Sabathia, and even though Sabathia is not playing the season of his life, of his career, he's going to be a solid pitcher until he exits stage left. And I really think that they're a solid team to back up at home in the Bronx. Good suggestion there if you don't want to be taking any of the other ones. However, I will say that the Pittsburgh Pirates at home with Burnett on the mound, probably the best baseball pick of the night. Dude is like a fine wine. He's seriously getting better at the age. He's settling down, focusing on the strike zone. I think he's got one of the best K per 9 in the league among starting pitchers. And, his team, they can back him up with some big bats. The Bucks got him. Who else has him? The Washington Nationals. They've got some good bats too. These guys, you look at the lineup and you'll see plenty of guys that will be knocking the ball around. But with DeWeiler on the hill, I really think that the Bucks at home with Burnett have the big advantage. He's also, Burnett that is, on my fantasy baseball team. So I'm going to be pulling for him, win or lose. Not a Bucks shirt. Got the colors, but not supposed to be a subliminal message going out to you. And now that I've mentioned it, not supposed to be a liminal message going out to you. Something that I do want to make clear is that the Phillies are a trap. I honestly think that anytime you see the Marlins on here, and likewise the Astros on this contest, is a trap. I mean, the Marlins can pull together some upsets. They've got some serious underrated talent, and Nolasco is a better pitcher in my opinion. However, this would be one of those props that 98+% are going to be on the Phillies at home. The Phillies are underperforming. This has got to be one of their worst seasons in a while. You know, like the dynasty that was before going to the postseason, long gone. This team has fallen apart. They're not a team to back, especially if you've got a big streak. You're going to see a lot of people on the leaderboard taking this one, and they very may well win. I'm not saying that you know, I'm not saying anything. Seattle Mariners at the Toronto Blue Jays, that's also another team you got to watch out for. You know, a lot of people in this group and elsewhere have also put forth, their comments about how the M's are not a team to pick for or against, and I 100% agree. This team, they can put together hits, don't get me wrong. They'll be smacking the ball like crazy. They do, time and time again. However, I think that last season, they were one of the worst teams, if not the worst. Annotations will provide a little bit of clarity on this, but they were horrible at hitting with runners in scoring positions. They allowed a lot of potential runs on base, and they're kind of repeating the same behavior this season. And what sucks about that is they've actually got a pretty decent team. And with Felix Hernandez on the mound, they've got potential to win this game, and you're going to see some sheep on this pick. This will be the sheep pick just because King Felix is on it. But I got to say that his team has let him down. This dude has lost something like 9 of his 10 starts straight. Not joking. However, Toronto Blue Jays going to give him a hard time because they've got some pop to their bat. You got some guys knocking out home runs just like they did last year every game, and they're going to put it up. The only thing, the drawback here is Romero is crap. I don't care what anybody says. He's not a great pitcher. I think it's a pretty even matchup, but I'm going to have to suggest you back the home team here. Toronto plays great in Canada, and Seattle Mariners don't play great anywhere. Moving on, going to have to suggest not pick the Boston Red Sox or Texas Rangers. Both of these teams are, juggernaut teams. But Texas plays great at home, and Boston Red Sox, man, they're going to be doing things in their division. I really thought that they were going to finish up first, and they're backing that up. They're playing some big games. They're already 10 games ahead in an early season, and ahead of their losses. That is, not ahead of the other teams in their division. Anyway, Boston's a team that you don't want to pick against, and Texas is one of those teams that you don't want to pick against at home. So this is one of those, it's for the birds. Don't pick it. Anyway, speaking of the birds, St. Louis Cardinals are playing off in Milwaukee Brewers. You like how I did that? I swear to God, it was off the top of my head. Los is a great pitcher. I love him like a brother. Not really, but I do respect the guy. He does not have a lot of bats behind him, though. He's got a couple, but hands down, the better batting team here is St. Louis Cardinals. They got it all through the lineup, and Miller's not a bad pitcher, but I really think the Cardinals support him enough to get the win on the road against a pretty awful Milwaukee club, and that's not just me hating on Milwaukee. I mean, St. Louis is just a better team. They have been for about a decade. Another team that's really letting down a lot of their fans is Tampa Bay Rays, especially on the road. They don't win on the road. I think there's something like 4-12 or maybe 5-12. I don't know exactly. Annotations, again, will provide clarity on this, but they're horrible on the road, just like the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't know what it is about Florida teams, Miami included, Florida Panthers. I mean, they just don't do things, especially on the road. They win at home in the tropics. I don't know. I can give you my conspiracy theories all night long, but we'll keep it to sports. And Colorado Rockies, pop it out at home. That's a horrible baseball bat story. Anyways, they knock it out at home. I don't care who you put on the mound. I think Tampa Bay has a much better pitcher on the mound than Moore, and Francis is flip a coin, but the Rockies will back them up at home. They always do. They know their park well. It's a great park to knock some runs in, and Tampa Bay does not, set a good tone for knocking runs in. They just don't. They have probably one of the worst batting averages in the big leagues, and Colorado Rockies, they slug it up. So, take Rockies at home. Another good home team to take They kind of sound like the Rockies or the Houston Rockets. Now, they came up out of nowhere and surprised everybody by one, getting to the playoffs, and two, forcing more games in the playoffs. Even myself, as a Rockets fan, did not even think they were going to win the game to force it back to Oklahoma. Not only did they win that close game, but they went back in Oklahoma and won by 7. Now, I got to take time aside to give props to Ryan because he went ahead and predicted that they wouldn't only get the SPL win, but that the Rockets pull out the upset, and they did. And it was an amazing sight to see. He kind of gave himself a hard time, but I really got to say, hey, dude, you know your basketball. Big props to that. Keep it coming. Give us the round ball feed. And I got to say that the Houston Rockets are going to come out. They're going to hustle. They're going to shoot. And they're going to force the Game 7 Oklahoma. And honestly, you know, I got to say that I can't give an opinion because it's either biased or inverse, you know, biased. You know, anyway I say it to you, I'm going to pick the Rockets in this one. You can pick Thunder if you want, but it doesn't really matter. What I'm going to be on is the hockey prop, and I'll tell you why. Niame. Now, I mentioned before in the first video, the dude's stellar. Now, you're also going to be thinking, you know, in the first video you said Vancouver would be a good pick. I did, but I also said if Schneider started. Luongo started just like I said that he should. Coach made a good move by putting the scrub out first. Might have had to because of Schneider's undisclosed mysterious injury. But I will say that the Canucks fell flat on their face at home in front of their team, or their home team, home fans, because Niame shut them down. The dude is a beast. Not only that, but his offense came through too. And we got 3 on Luongo, which is actually pretty decent of Luongo. But Niame just took the cake, took that damn cake, and really just shoved it in their face. Because honestly, I see the Sharks sweeping now. After that first game performance, unless Schneider plays every game, which I don't think he will, I really think that the Sharks are going to come forth and they're going to sweep this series. They're going to win these 2. They're going to win 2 at home. Done deal, first team to get out of the first round. And it's not going to really surprise anybody except for the Canuck fans. I got to say that the Sharks looked like the real deal, the genuine article, the real McCoy in this season. And, you know, they were great at the beginning of the season, kind of fell off, put together a great ending, and now they're fired up for the postseason. They're going to be contenders. Not going to look past that, and honestly, I'm going to be picking them to win, even though I know the sheep are going to be all over the Canucks. They're probably going to have the odds favor, but the Sharks are just the real deal. Take the Sharks. If you're not into that, I also think the Orioles are a great pick over the Angels, just like last time, because the Angels are garbage. Another person that's garbage is Vargas. Now, I've never liked the dude. He's actually put together a little bit of skill, but I would never pick Vargas. What I would do, though, is pick anyone against Vargas. Now, you know, Angels aren't a scrub-ass team. They got some serious offense. They just don't put together runs. You know, it's a mathematical inequality. But mathematically speaking, Orioles are superb. They got great batting, great pitching, great bullpen. I mean, they've got all the coefficients to put together a product that you do want to pick. And I do like them, even though they're on the road. The Angels are a team to fade right now. I don't know when they're going to pull it around. If they're going to pull it around, they got to. I think they were like ESPN's favorite to go back to the series. But anyway, got to say Orioles are a good pick there. The later 2, Arizona at San Diego. Miley's a better pitcher. Never liked Marquez, even though he's been putting together a solid effort. San Diego does play a lot better at home than on the road, and likewise for Arizona. However, Miley's just a better pitcher, and Arizona's got better bats. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It's a tough matchup. I wouldn't suggest picking either of the last 2 just because normally I would say Zito and the Giants take it at home, but we all know Kershaw can pull a rabbit out of his hat, and the Dodgers can back him up on that. Now, Zito's kind of been a tiger with his stripes. You know, he's been showing his stripes, as I say, but they're black and they're colorful. Sometimes he's a piece of crap. Sometimes he's a piece of gold. Now, what you're going to want to watch out for are props like this because, you know, a lot of folks are going to be backing Zito and the Giants at home. You're going to see more than 50% of them on picks on that one, and a good chance that the Dodgers just blow them out. I can really see that happening. Zito's one of those all-or-nothing kind of pitchers. And just to wrap it up, got to say that Orioles great pick. I'm going to be on the Sharks. See you there in the discussion board if I can get in there. I don't know. My wife doesn't really love it when I'm talking to imaginary people online. But that being said, no offense. The Rockets are also a good pick at home. The Rockies are a good pick at home. I do like the Toronto Blue Jays, but that's a risky pick. I think it's kind of suspect that it's even on here. Same thing with that Phillies pick. Wouldn't take it. I mean, if you got a red streak, go for the Marlins. Go ahead and piss the people off with that. However, Pittsburgh Pirates, great pick, Burnett, in my opinion. Wouldn't pick the other MLB. With the NBA, you got to take the Knicks in the first half. They got better shooters, like I said, which will translate into a win also against the Boston Celtics, who, you know, they got lucky in the last game. I'll just say that. And the Pacers, they're going to have to face the Hawks one more time, in my opinion. And they'll take it then, but they're going to need 8 more quarters to do it. And the horse, farm animal bullshit. Good luck with all that. I wouldn't focus too much on the odds on any of these, because it's not like Street Forecast doesn't know the odds are out there. They're going to pick the games that they think they are going to upset the odds the most. That's how the system works, and people fall for it. So don't be one of those suckers. Be a rider on the storm. And until I see you next time, see you in the group.